So a little movie called The Dark Knight came out in 2008 and it destroyed the box office. I mean, it was the first comic book movie to bank $1 billion. Films, especially comic book films, making $1 billion means jack shit nowadays. But Batman started it all, and it was groundbreaking. The Dark Knight broke all sorts of records in 2008, but most notably it was nominated and even won an Academy Award for the first time in an above-the-line category. No other comic book movie has achieved this until this year with Joker, but Heath Ledger won an Oscar for Best Supporting Role as the Joker. Let me tell you why The Dark Knight slaps so damn hard and why it is literally the best comic book movie ever made, and one of the greatest movies ever made. The Dark Knight is directed by Christopher Nolan. If you don't know who this filmmaker is, shame on you. This director has an unprecedented track record of great movies. He isn't like Steven Spielberg, where you got a list of great movies like, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, and then you come across dog shit like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or Ready Player One. There isn't a single movie he has made that sucks, and that's why he's easily my favorite filmmaker. So what happens when you combine one of the greatest filmmakers with one of the greatest comic book characters of all time? You get a pretty darn good movie. The Dark Knight is the second film in the trilogy, and a great thing is that you could watch each film and not be confused because each film does a great job of being contained and standalone. It isn't like the Marvel movies. Another great thing about The Dark Knight is the story. It's not your average superhero movie where a huge freaking portal opens and 3,000 aliens attack Earth and a bunch of shit explodes. Not saying that those things are bad, but the fact that this film is realistic and more believable is what makes it stand out. It's more of a crime thriller than anything else. The story itself is dark and gruesome, people die, and a lot of twists. It all calls for great storytelling. Christian Bale is my favorite Bruce Wayne in Batman. He's written spectacularly. He isn't some dumb Nick Fury wannabe bullshit killer like Ben Affleck in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Who Gives a Shit. What makes Bruce Wayne so good in this trilogy as a whole is that he's just as interesting as his alter ego. The fake persona he puts on when he's at parties, the childhood trauma he faces, the fact that as much as he wants to be Batman, he also wants a normal life. They truly made us care for the character. For example, my favorite scene with Bruce Wayne is when he couldn't save the love of his life and he sits in utter failure and sadness.
Good. Not madness, not death.
You have inspired good, but you spat in the faces of Gotham's criminals. Didn't you think there might be some casualties? Things were always going to get worse before they got better.
But Rachel, Alfred?
Rachel believed in what you stood for.
Batman is also pretty awesome. Christian Bale hated his suit in Batman Begins. He couldn't turn his goddamn head and it was hot as hell, so they gave him a kick-ass suit in this one. Also my favorite on-screen Batman suit because it's tactical, in some ways realistic, and it's not too silly and comic book-esque. And it's great that it doesn't have freaking nipples on it. Now let's talk about the shit everyone wants me to talk about. Heath Ledger's goddamn Joker.
I thought my jokes were bad.
When people heard that Heath Ledger was gonna play Joker, the internet went wild, like they always do. Ledger seriously surprised everyone with this role. His performance was so intense that the media started spreading inaccurate shit like, oh, the Joker role is the reason why Heath Ledger died. Oh, the Joker role messed him up, and that's why he died. Shut the hell up, okay? For those of you who were told that shit, it's not true, okay? Heath Ledger unfortunately passed away due to cardiac arrest caused from accidental drug overdose. Heath Ledger in interviews has said that he had so much fun playing the role, and that it physically took a lot out of him. He didn't go crazy because of the role, okay? Alright, now that we got that bullshit out of the way, let's talk about why Heath Ledger's Joker is hailed to be the greatest villain and the greatest on-screen Joker. The Joker isn't your everyday movie villain. Hell, he doesn't even have an evil plan.
Your plan.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
The movie does a great job by exploring the Joker's mind and this philosophy he carries. I could talk about this for hours, but to put it simply, his entire motive in the film is to prove a point. He kinda does random shit, but later you realize that his actions add up to a bigger meaning. Another interesting aspect about this character is that he's a mystery. Throughout the entire movie, you will have no idea who the hell this guy is, what his real name is, where did he come from. In fact, when the Joker talks about his past, he tells different versions of the same story to different people. Even though you don't know much about him, he's somehow so well developed and characterized. Just in the opening robbery sequence, a group of clown robbers exchange their knowledge about the Joker, and you already know that he is smart, he's decisive, and he's crazy. Not only is he smart or clever, he's intimidating as hell.
You know, you remind me of my father. I hated my father.
The Dark Knight also has some great side characters. Harvey Dent has a very interesting arc that a lot of people forget about because he's overshadowed by Batman and Joker. I think Harvey Dent is in some ways the heart of this movie. Rachel Dawes has been recast from Katie Holmes to Maggie Gyllenhaal, and this was a great choice because Katie Holmes sucks at acting. We get more of Alfred's lovable loyalty and mentoring for Bruce Wayne.
Whenever you stitch yourself up, you do make a bloody mess. Yeah.
And we get some development of Gordon's character, especially when they spend a little bit more time with his family. Despite the fascinating character stuff in the film, there's still more. The visuals. Christopher Nolan loves filming in IMAX cameras, which results in some great cinematography. And the sound design, oh my god, just listen to it. Also, the action scenes have improved significantly. The hand-to-hand combat sequences in Batman Begins, the previous film, was absolute trash. Just watch this. But in The Dark Knight, the action scenes are among the memorable moments. For example, this armored truck chase sequence. Nearly all of it is practical. The only shots that use CGI is when the Batpod comes out of the Batmobile.
Goodbye.
And when the helicopter explodes. And yes, they actually flipped a goddamn truck off the goddamn ground. Most movies nowadays have to use CGI for everything. Christopher Nolan uses CGI when it's absolutely necessary. Most of the time, it's practical, and the blend of real and VFX elements is seamless. Finally, the music. Oh my god, the music. Hans Zimmer's Batman score is so exhilarating.
He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight.
Dark Knight is a masterpiece. It's the best comic book movie, and it's absolutely heartbreaking that we don't get superhero movies like these anymore. Don't get me wrong, I love Marvel movies, but the fact that every movie has to have a large-scale plot with Infinity Stones and armies and explosions, it gets stale after a while. The movies that are contained and riveting are the most impactful, and that is why The Dark Knight is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece of cinema. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first video on my channel, so I wouldn't mind if you like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of the movie if you've seen it. Also, it would be greatly appreciated if you spread the word about my channel, because why not? Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.